going?
It's going good, thanks.
Great. So, where are you from?
Canada, Ontario. But I don't know where I'm from anymore. Travel a lot.
What first got you into music?
Well, I grew up in. So, like, my father's Dutch, my mother's Brazilian, and I actually grew up in Jamaica. But then when I was about 8, I moved to Canada with the fam and spent the rest of my childhood there. But I always remember, like, growing up listening to records, like, all the time. Like, music in the house was always being played. Like, always being played. Music every day, all day.
Can you name some famous singer from Canada?
Not from Canada. I think Justin Bieber is Justin Bieber. He grew up in Stratford, which was like 15 minutes away from where I grew up. 15-20 minutes away. But yeah, I think and maybe the Jonas Brothers.
Did they inspire you to
Nah.
make some?
No.
What do you do aside from music?
I work
Or like
a
what?
lot. Yeah. Just like on a lot of different projects. Design, branding, product design.
I heard you own a company.
Yeah.
Where?
It's called ACG.
Yeah,
It's
what's
a
the niche?
creative
What's the niche
agency.
of your company?
We create brands and we do logistics for other brands. And yeah, I don't know. It's like an open canvas. It's like, every day is
So
crazy
like
day.
creative stuff.
Yeah, creative group. When I was younger, like I worked many different jobs, and like my biggest passion was music. Like I was part of, like in school, always part of jazz band. Like growing up in the church, always part of choir. That's where I learned how to harmonize, singing in church, learned how to read music. And yeah, like music has been such a huge part of my life. I think for all of us, like I remember when I was younger, getting a hold of like a USB stick where it was like contraband. Like you'd have to buy music on CDs, and I had no money. I never got any money, so I never could. I never could listen to music, but my friends, they know how to.
Yeah, so
They knew how to rip.
an artist, since you were a kid, what is your creative process like?
Creative process. Well, when I was younger, creative process is like a lot of listening, like consuming. I think the creative process is like we consume, and then we take the consumption and what we do with it and what we decide to create from that, we will like that's what we create. Like our creations are a reflection of something else. So my creative process in anything, whether it's branding, whether it's music, is like finding an aesthetic or a sound that I fall in love with or that I feel. Music is like a feeling to me.
Yeah, so how did the coronavirus or this pandemic affected you as an artist? Because I heard a lot of burnouts from those creative people.
Yeah, a lot of like the pandemic for us and for like company and business, it was crazy. But as an artist, like, no, for me, art, like my music has always been a getaway ever since like the beginning of music for me, whether it was like the first cafe band called Columbia Drive because like the two people that I was in the sort of a blues jazz cafe cover band, like one of my good friends at the time, still a good friend today, Adrian, he played keys and he lived on Columbia Drive, so we called it Columbia Drive, and we just played different coffee shops. But the question was how to, I think like music, you're asking about the creative process, or you're asking about
No, how did
how did the
this
coronavirus
lockdown thing affect you?
Yeah, for me, like it wasn't. It's not been a big thing. It's been like a side project for me. So every bit of music that I've done has not been tied to a studio. It's just been done with a mic and some instruments that I have, or just online, and being able to self-produce and put it out by myself.
Because some of the artists like into depression because they're stuck in a room, they can't go out because of lockdown.
Yeah.
I think we all experience that, but mostly of like emotional artists experience depression and being burned out from making creative stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I think that this whole issue of the pandemic has really affected artists, especially artists that have had like this being the bread and butter. Like the bread and butter meaning like their music is the bread and butter. For me, music has never been the bread and butter because like one thing that my father told me, and like when I was younger, I always wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be famous. Like I wanted that. My father always, like he was cutthroat. My mom was very passionate and she wanted me to chase my dreams. And my dad was like the reality check. He's like, Dan, you like this is a hard industry. Even my mom said, dude, it's a hard industry to get into. So I decided like to listen to that and have art in the music form be a sort of side project. And that's what it is now, and that's what it like has always been for me, like a getaway. Music is a getaway for me. Like when I listen to it, I can put music on completely completely leave the world for a moment and get lost. And creation of music for me is like a painting. And like I don't care what genre I'm in. I don't care how I sound. It's been hard for me to put it out because I care what people think, but I don't care what I make.
Yeah, because mostly of like music right now is from the emotions of every artist. So, if you'll be given a chance to collaborate with your favorite artist, who will it be?
My favorite artist, James Blake. James Blake. I followed James Blake for a long time. I remember listening. I was on a trip up to camp. First time I heard James Blake, it was Retrograde, the song. And I listened to that track that my buddy had, like a burnt CD, and the part where it goes in, like the subwoofer section just totally blew out the car and the car speakers, and we listened to it over and over and over, and I fell in love with. Like I would love to. Like James Blake is probably
James
number one.
Blake was from the America's Got Talent, right?
No, he's from UK.
Oh, sick. So, what's your opinion about like those artists that are so good, but the spotlight was not on them because they're not privileged?
I think everybody has a voice. Every single person has a voice, and everybody has a voice to sing.
Or what's your opinion about the music industry right now?
Music industry right now is crowded, and I would say I'm not a good addition to the crowd.
Do you think if, for those people that are so talented in music and didn't get a chance, if they have enough money or they are rich, would they become famous?
People that are rich like I've seen it before. People that are rich or have money, and they use that as the main element to drive their success. Like, of course, like for my music, of course I invest in it. I
Yeah,
invest in
because,
promotion.
There are a lot of actors and actresses right now that are making shitty music, but their albums like number one because of their popularity.
Yeah, 100%. But it won't last. So if you put, like, in my opinion, and what I've seen is if you are signed to a label, you had a hot one hit wonder, and you're doing it for a label or you're doing it for publicity, it's a different thing. You have to in everything. What I believe is, like, I do a lot of things. I don't just do music, and I have a lot of unfinished projects and products too. But it's like where your passion goes. If you're a slave to a project that you're working on, you won't find joy in it. Like if a wealthy person has talent and they put so much money towards their talent, they will lose it they'll just lose interest because they won't care anymore.
Yeah, some those artists are depressed, deciding to take their lives, even though they're at the top spot. Just
Yeah.
like Avicii.
Yeah, Avicii is a good example of that. There's a lot of other artists. I don't think it's just in the music world, it's in like every form of art.
Yeah, would you
Galileo.
share to us your first album that you made?
So like I have a lot of unfinished projects, and so like the first 4 tracks on Spotify that I chose to put out were like they're all put out on like singles. They're not an album. They're not. They're separate. They're each a different emotion, each written at a different time in my life, and they all reflect my thought process and my thinking at the time. Like for me, I have way too many unfinished.
Yeah, I heard also.
Unfinished.
I heard also, but who inspired you to make? Like, what's the story behind
Which
the
one?
first album? Home, I think.
The
Yeah.
first song,
Yeah, before it got removed on Spotify.
the first track on. I have to check my phone once.
I'm trying to look for it on Spotify, but unluckily it won't appear anymore.
Home.
Yeah.
Home is not on Spotify, but I'm gonna re-release it soon. So let me open up Spotify because I don't exactly remember. As many artists don't remember Daniel Phillip. That's so strange looking up your own. So the first one I actually had a track that I put, and it was a live track, and I played it on keys, and it was called Breathe, and it was a song that I composed, but it got taken down from Spotify, and that was the first thing I put out. I'll probably re-release it, but I don't know why it got taken down from Spotify. I think because there was a dog barking and I was talking too much.
Spotify makes so much money on artists,
Yeah, they do.
and the artists like.
The artists don't. You can't make. It's so hard to make money off of your music from streams. It's almost impossible to survive.
100%.
You have to put either like so much music out, or you need to do brand deals. You need to find different avenues, different ways to make your
Yeah.
bread.
There's a lot of undiscovered artists on SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud. But it's undiscovered.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. As an artist, or like what of course, like someone asked me this question before, was like, do you want to like as an artist, who do you want to be? I want to, like, there's so many artists of the past that died before their art could get heard, and then they were known.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like Leonardo da Vinci, who like was renowned but only became like well known after.
Yeah.
And so there's tools now with the internet, and there's tools now with our technology to actually go out and get heard.
Yeah, aside from like you're not getting enough money out of streaming, you will not get the support from your family when you decided to take a leap that you want to make music full time. It's like you will not get the support because yeah, for them it's hard to get into the music industry, and yeah, sometimes it's the support that mostly of the undiscovered artists needed.
Yeah.
So did you get the support from your family, or have you uh, what's the term for that? Try to think to make music full time when you were younger.
Yeah, I wanted to do music full time when I was younger, for sure. Like that's what consumed my, like, acting and music, like, consumed my everyday thought process. Like, always creating something, whether it was like creating videos or creating music for the videos and acting in the videos. That was like my passion, full time. Did I get support? Probably, like, for sure. But it was like a not real support. It was like yeah, that's a cool project. When are you going to do something that is real and tangible? And I did. I took that advice and I did something that was real and tangible. And now I have a little bit more time. It's still probably not a lot of time, but to go back into the passion, the things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, what's your advice to those young teenagers that choosing their passion?
Advice for teenagers that want to get into music?
No,
Passion.
let's not just say music. Passion over career.
Passion over career. Get a job and then work on your passion. I like, you got to, like, cut your costs. Like, know what you need to be responsible over. Like, do it every day. A lot of
because
pressure.
Some of them, like on Instagram,
Yeah.
they just see the successful stories.
Everybody sees success, but never sees. Everybody sees the tip of the iceberg, but doesn't see. Everybody sees the trees, but not the root
Yeah,
that feeds the tree.
that's
and to
one of
create
your
the fruits.
advice to them also. So
I-
I believe in social media.
Advice, yeah, don't believe in social media. Like, dig up a tree. Go do farming. Like, I grew up on a farm. Like, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of planting seeds. So every day, what I do is plant seeds. Whether it's like plant seeds for like ideas, like plant seeds for teams, plant seeds for new growth. Every day. And you can do that as a creator, as an artist, as like a music artist, or in anything. You can always be planting seeds. You can always be working. Like, if you have a job,
Yeah.
you can always be planting seeds while you're doing that job. Like, you could, like, multitasking. There's a lot of, everybody has the same 24 hours. So I got the watch.
Yeah, but
It's
the
a
problem
reminder.
with artists, like they're so emotional.
Yeah, you gotta be ground. Find your ground. Try to find your ground. I don't know. Same thing with me. I'm emotional, for sure. That's how, like, my best projects and my best art has come into reality. Is like with that uneasy tension.
The comfort, out of the comfort.
The comfort out of the uncomfort.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Are you gonna release new album? Focus on your business? Give more time to improving your music, or make some music?
Music will for me music will always be a side project, but I want to spend some more time doing it. Sundays is like my day off, so that's when I can create music. I never create music during the week. I always listen, I always consume. I never create music during the week. It's always Sunday, because 6 days I'm working. Sunday is music time for Dan. And whenever I travel a lot, so whenever I travel, I take my mic so that I can sing. And if I can, I take my keyboard. Otherwise, it's just on the laptop.
One more question for you. Are you one of those artists that is so good but shy to perform?
Nah, I wouldn't say I'm good. I'm not good to. I'm always working on trying to improve myself or emulate a sound, and I'll be stuck on that. And yeah, I'm like incredibly shy, and I got no balls to put up music.
No, like performing in front of
Performing in front of people,
stage like that.
I've done it before. I've broken that barrier, so I can do it again. I haven't performed in front of people for a long time, but karaoke, singing at places, nah, it's not my cup of tea.
Is it possible for you to set up your own show?
Well, what do you mean?
It's like have gigs.
Have gigs?
Or perform for like random places.
Nah, I don't. There's no like for music. It's not my. It's not my like bread and butter. So to do a gig or to do something like that is not really in my interest. Like, hey, if music for
No, that's what I mean. Like just share your voice out to the crowd. Share your music, even though you're not paid or you're paid.
so even
It's like,
so the question is, even if I'm not paid, would I do a show?
yep, like that. No, perform in the public.
Perform in public?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
So thanks for letting us hear your story. That's a wrap from us, and yeah, see you on the stage soon.
Cool.